Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. I&R recap. Traci questions whether her love with Martin was real or a cruel game, and Victor makes Nikki a promise. Wednesday, May 28, 2025. Today on Young and Restless, Claire plans Nikki's party, Victor gives Nikki her next gift, and Jack and Nick discuss the threat Dumas might pose. Read the last Y&R recap. Amanda agrees to try to get Phyllis in to see Dumas, and Adam tells Chelsea they have to create a scandal. Traci arrives at the Abbott estate and takes a deep breath before entering. Diane welcomes her back and wonders where Ashley is. Traci said she's not far behind. Looking around, Traci says she's speechless and then gives her a hug. Diane takes her on the tour and Traci tells her how uncanny it all feels, but she still feels her father's love. That means a lot to Diane, who admits that the project was very stressful. Traci couldn't respect and admire her more. Diane asks how she's holding up. It hasn't been easy, admits Traci. They have tea and Diane offers to listen if she wants to open up. Traci admits it has been a journey. She realized she was in love with a monster and was left with nothing but questions and guilt. She thought the spark they felt was real, and it would last the rest of their lives. Diane says that his love could have been real. Traci doesn't know how that could be true given how depraved he was. She wonders if she was just another experiment or a cover. Diane says they will never know, and that's what haunts Traci. She really thought she was the most precious thing in his life. Was she so desperate and needy that she couldn't see through the lies? Diane assures her there is nothing wrong with wanting to be loved. They agree that she was too good for Martin. Traci is determined to bounce back. In the jazz lounge, Claire meets with Pietro, the party planner, played by Jai Rodriguez, and he tells her it would be an honor to plan the party of the century for her. He's been following her for years and shows her old glamour photos of her from the 80s. He thinks they should have them blown up for pillows and clothes. She's not sure about that. He suggests a play about Nikki's life, starting with her career as a stripper. Claire suggests something more sophisticated. He thinks they should cover Nikki in diamonds, while Victor is dressed El Suavo. Or they could go Bollywood and have Nikki ride in on an elephant. She suggests no themes or gimmicks, just elegance and warmth to remind everyone of what makes her grandmother unique. As they go over the color scheme, Kyle arrives as Pietro starts pitching at 18th century themed party. Claire shuts him down and urges him to make her vision a reality. He promises class and elegance. They are sure this party will be the talk of the town. Once Pietro takes off, Kyle tells her how impressed he was. They are sure Nikki will get a memorable night. Claire reminds him he needs to use the night to convince her grandfather that he's the right man for her. Kyle remains skeptical about this idea. He tells her that Harrison is having a hard time finding a gift for Nikki and never sleeps. And on this emotional day, hearts cracked open while secrets stirred just beneath the surface. At the Abbott estate, Traci stood by the bay window, watching early summer leaves flutter like memories in the wind. The morning light caught the edge of the manuscript she had tried, and failed, to finish. Her eyes were not on the page, though. They were fixed on the shadow of a man who had re-entered her life too easily, too smoothly, Martin DeLuca. A name she once scribbled in the margins of her journals now felt like a riddle she couldn't solve. Was it ever real? She whispered as Jack entered the room quietly behind her. He offered her a coffee, his brow knitted with brotherly concern. "You've been up all night again." Traci gave a tired smile. It's hard to sleep when your past walks back into your present without knocking. Jack, ever the straight shooter with his sister, didn't mince words. "Martin hurt you once, Traci. You're asking yourself if it was love or a lie." Maybe the better question is, can it be either now? She nodded, eyes distant. Just days ago, Martin had reappeared in Genoa City, with charm polished in stories wrapped in nostalgia. He spoke of their youth, their dreams, the tender moments that once made her believe in something simple and beautiful. But something in his eyes, was it calculation, made Traci hesitate. Later that afternoon, Traci met Martin at Society. She chose the outdoor patio, public, safe, a stage where she could keep her emotions in check. Martin smiled as if the years hadn't passed. "You look exactly like I remember." Traci's lips curved into a bittersweet smile. "Funny. I remember you with less gray and more honesty." That caught him off guard. His easy expression faltered, just for a moment. "Was I just a character in your game, Martin? Or did you actually love me, even for a second?" He leaned in. "Traci, we were kids. I didn't know what I wanted back then, but I do now." "That's convenient," she said, voice cool. "Especially now that you're suddenly back in town, just as I'm getting a little media attention for my new book. Don't think I haven't noticed the timing." Martin reached for her hand, but she pulled it back. "You used to say you saw my heart before anyone else did," she continued, voice cracking. "But now I'm wondering, did you just see an easy mark? A girl desperate for love?" Martin's face darkened. "That's not fair." "No, Martin. What's not fair is the way I clung to what we had, only to realize it may have been a game to you all along." Silence settled between them, tense and heavy. She stood abruptly, pushing her chair in with purpose. "I don't need an apology. I don't need closure. I just needed to know if I ever meant anything to you. And I think I have my answer." As she walked away, tears welled in her eyes, but her spine was straight. The past could knock, but she didn't have to open the door anymore. Meanwhile, across town at the Newman Ranch, Victor Newman paced the length of the drawing room like a lion in a cage. Outside, the golden hour bathed the estate in warmth, but inside, the air was taut with tension. Nikki sat gracefully on the edge of the sofa, reading the latest report from the rehabilitation center she'd been supporting. Her hands trembled slightly. Victor saw it, of course. He saw everything. He sat beside her, uncharacteristically quiet. A few seconds passed before he spoke. "I want you to know something, Nikki," he said, his voice gravelly with unspoken emotion. "I've made a lot of promises in my life. Too many of them I've broken, but I will not break this one." She turned to him, eyebrows arched. "And what promise is that?" "I'm going to protect you. From the past, from the media vultures, from everything that's trying to pull you back into that darkness." Her eyes softened, but the edge of skepticism lingered. "Victor, you can protect me from myself." He took her hands in his. "Then I'll stand beside you while you fight." There it was, the thing that always brought her back to him, no matter how stormy the seas got between them. His undying loyalty cloaked in stubborn pride. Nikki sighed. "Do you know how many times I've tried to outrun my own demons?" "Yes." "And I also know you've outrun most of them," he said, a smile ghosting his lips. She laughed softly, almost bitterly. "Maybe. But lately, they've been running faster." Victor tilted her chin, forcing her to meet his eyes. "Then we'll slow them down together. I promise." Her silence wasn't agreement, but it wasn't rejection either. It was hope's cautious breath. Later that evening, they stood together on the veranda. He poured her a glass of sparkling water, and they watched the sun dip below the hills. It was a rare, quiet moment between them. No crises, no scandals. Just two people who had loved hard, broken harder, and still chose each other anyway. "Do you think we'll ever have peace?" Nikki asked.